So I had a bit of fun in the Discord this morning on LeoFinance, and somebody came in. I'll bring it over here. Somebody came in and was asking about if they could post uh, uh, medical information on LeoFinance, and Dal says no, it's about finance. Oh, okay, thanks. And then Marky chimes in his snarky self, and he says, "Can I post about toe fungus on Leo?" And obviously we started going off from there. But I was thinking, it's like, well, let's make a LeoFinance relevant post about toe fungus. And so I'm going to walk through, how at least I would do that, and you could take this as a model and apply that to other subjects. So first, just general Google search, right? Toe fungus. Of course, I use DuckDuckGo because Google is the devil. So symptoms and causes, how to use Vicks to treat and cure fungus, humongous. That's gross. Okay, home remedies, guides, causes, symptoms. All right, so let's go to Mayo Clinic and let's go to drugs.com. See what they say. Um, Symptoms, diagnosis, expected duration, prevention, treatment. Okay, so most commonly, doctors prescribe terbinafine or Lamisil. Commonly used alternative is itraconazole, which is, I guess, brand name is Sporanix, but it can cause serious drug interactions. Okay, so, well, let's look at those. And so Lamisil is an antifungal medication, blah, blah, blah. How should I take it? Lamisil side effects. All right, that's all great. But who makes Lamisil? Okay. So let's say Lamisil manufacturer. I think it says GlaxoSmithKline. That's GSK, right? Okay. So we got GSK. And then we have Sporanix. Let's say manufacturer, which is apparently it's a generic. Okay. All right. So if it's a generic, then, or I guess Janssen. Let's go to S. Sporanix. Okay. All right. So we got, Janssen, which is apparently a Johnson & Johnson company, and then we have GlaxoSmithKline. All right. So now we can go to finance.yahoo. We can go to trading view. I was looking at SNX earlier. So let's look at Johnson & Johnson, J&J. That's not a cryptocurrency. NYSE. So if you were making a technical analysis type post, you might be interested in the daily chart here, and we've got a nice little trading range here. It's coming off of resistance, coming back, and support levels. We've got a little bit of support here at 148. We've got a gap right there, 146. Nice pivot at 143, and then longer term support down here at 138. We can look back into COVID, and we can see, not too much. Obviously it crashed along with the market, but it rebounded right back, and it's maintaining there. So obviously it's not a technology play, so it hasn't gone well above its all-time highs. Ooh, that is a whole different thing. Let's check that. 20K. It's a good thing I was recording while I was doing this. That is exciting. All-time highs. All right. So we'll come back to that. And it's already running. 20,100, 127, 29. Anyway, let's go back to Johnson & Johnson for just a second. All right. So we could look at that and we could say, earnings last quarter were $1.33. That was a negative surprise by 32%. And not too surprising, the stock sold off after that. It's got a dividend there, $1. Previous dividend was $1, $1 before that. And so, we could look at the dividend rate. Okay, so we got $1 times 4, that's 404. And we divided by, well, right now it's 150.60. So 2.6, 2.7%, that's not fabulous, but it's nice. It's kind of average with the S&P. So, should I add this to my portfolio? Well, if I were into a dividend aristocrat kind of thing, it's not exciting enough for me at 2.5%. But if we get lower, so what would it have to be in order to be really attractive? So if we're doing a $4 dividend, and I want it to be 6%, that would be all the way down to 67. And I don't think we're getting there anytime soon. Even if we zoom out on the weekly, that's still way down here. So it did reach that back in, well, not exactly, but I mean, it's close, back in 2015. But since then, it's been significantly higher. So I don't think we'll see a 6% dividend there anytime soon. So the other one was GlaxoSmithKline. We can look at that. GlaxoSmithKline, pharmaceutical. That's the Indian Stock Exchange. Let's do GlaxF. It's the US ADR, I guess. So this is an uglier chart compared to J&J. So that's interesting. So we had the COVID crash. It rebounded, 2/3, and it's been kind of weakening ever since. Let's see, we got dividend 25 cents, dividend 25 cents, dividend 23 cents. So they raised their dividend, and after a cut. So incidentally, if you're in the aristocrats form or aristocrats mode, when you have a dividend cut like that rules them out entirely. But okay, let's say 25 cents is maintained. So that's 1 divided by 18. So 5.5%. That's actually pretty nice. So decent dividend player. Pharmaceuticals I don't think are going anywhere. If we zoom out on the weekly, we can see that it's pretty much at the bottom of its long-term range. So not a bad place to buy. It might be some upside, but that's a longer-term viewpoint. So this is like if you want to buy and hold for 10 years kind of thing. It might be a decent place to buy. As a swing trade, not great. With this kind of chart weakness that we're seeing, I would not buy it for that purpose. But we can go to finance.yahoo. Let's try again. And then we can look up some of the fundamentals of those two companies. Let's go to MarketBeat. MarketBeat.com. All right, so that works. I think I got to disable my shields here. And I got to disable my uBlock origin. Come on. Let's turn that off here. All right, that looks a lot better. All right, so no, I don't want push notifications. So we can go to J&J, and then we can read their profile and the dividend that we have here. We can look at that, and we can look at the financials. So we got the income statement, the balance sheet, and cash flow. Let's see. So income 2019. Let's just look at net income. What's that? 2017 was 13. Oh, that's strange. So looking at the long-term trend, flat to down, which if you're going in for a dividend play is not necessarily a bad thing. If you go to the balance sheet, we're looking at total assets, total equity. So equity, they've been consuming a bit of equity over the past 5-6 years. So not as attractive on that level. Then if we look at GlaxF, no, they don't have the OTC. Glaxo Smith Klein. No thanks. I guess they don't cover that. It's a British stock, but so by going through this kind of analysis, that is then things you can talk about on LeoFinance, and you could do charts, you could do fundamental analysis, you could do what opportunities these particular companies might have in the Fungus arena, and how that might impact their profitability and market price and all those kinds of things. So that is how I would make a Fungus post on LeoFinance.